Hello, welcome to Real Estate Stories, brought to you by Rondon Real Estate. These stories are going to talk about experiences I've had as a realtor, going into different homes. I look at a lot of different properties, and I've had a lot of different experiences at various properties over the years. Been a realtor for almost 30 years now, so that's a lot of properties, a lot of opportunities to see things that other people don't necessarily get to see. The other thing we'll talk about, like maybe some things, weird things that have happened with some of the transactions as well. Some of these stories will be scary. Some of them will be funny. Some of them will be real interesting or have twists. But I thought I would just take the chance to share some of this, with the rest of the world, whoever wants to watch it, whoever wants to subscribe or look in, and just kind of share what some of these experiences have been. The first one I want to talk about today, it happened about 20 years ago. I was a relatively newer agent, and I got a call to go look at a duplex on the north side of Kenosha. And got there was a bunch of people hanging out in front of the house. I wasn't feeling very welcome, let's just put it that way. I was getting kind of the death stares. We get that a lot, especially it seems when we look at investment properties. There's most other agents will know this. No matter what you do, no matter what steps you take, you'll show up and the tenants, I never got a call, or I didn't know you were coming, or whatever the case might be. That happens a lot. So anyways, was approaching these people at the front of the house, and they didn't know I was coming, they didn't know who I was, and I said, well, I'll wait for the owner. So the owner arrived, and we started walking through the house. We went into the lower unit. Lower unit, there was probably about 20 people crammed into the living room, most of them sitting around in a circle. And there was a large cloud of smoke hovering in the middle of the room. Smelled a little skunky, if you get my drift. And there were several people passing around something that seemed to be the thing producing the smoke. The owner looked a little embarrassed, and he kind of looked nervous even going through the place, like maybe the tenants had kind of taken complete control of the house, and he wasn't even welcome at his own property. But we went into the upper, and then we went into the basement, and this is where things kind of take a turn. So we get down into the basement. There's a really pungent smell, and couldn't quite put my finger on what it was, but it was almost a garbage smell, but there was something else to it, a little more nauseating. Walked through the basement, looked at the mechanicals and everything, and then there was another room under the front of the house, under the porch, and a whole other section of the basement. And we walked into there, and there were small animal cages stacked up, a couple high, all along the walls in this enclosed area. And it smelled like a farm in there. It smelled pretty bad in there. There wasn't any animals in any of the cages. So we walked back out, and I noticed when I walked back out that there were some markings on the floor, and I started to follow them with my eyes. And I also noticed in the middle of the floor that there had been looked like some hay spread out on the floor. And on top of the hay and in a couple of spots were some small pools of what looked like blood. And there were also some small bones scattered around in this area as well. And my eyes kind of followed the rest of the markings, and I noticed I was pretty much standing in the middle of a giant pentagram that had been painted on the floor. So I said something to the owner, basically said, hey, I'm not comfortable here. I kind of want to leave. So we left, and as a pretty motivated aggressive new realtor that was hungry to get any kind of listings or sales. I took the listing anyway, knowing it would probably be impossible to get into that house for showings, and that it was also virtually unshowable, that other people were going to have the same experience I had. So I went ahead and took the listing anyway. Had somebody working with me at the time, kind of assisting me, doing some like pictures for me, putting signs out and that kind of thing, and had him go out and take pictures to put a sign out after we had inked the deal. And he calls me up and he's freaking out. And I said, "What's going on?" He says, "Somebody just got shot." I said, "Well, what are you talking about?" He said, "Yeah, one of the guys over here, they got in an argument with somebody, and all of a sudden I hear a gun go off while I'm putting a sign out, and I look and somebody got shot in the foot." He said, if I remember correctly, the guy shot himself in the foot. So I said, "Well, what are you doing?" He says, I don't know. I'm just calling you to let you know." I said, "Get the sign and get out of there." I said, we're going to forget this one." So I called up the owner and I say, "Hey, look, man, I don't want, to upset you or anything, but I'm going to pass. I'm going to withdraw my listing agreement, and I'll let somebody else handle this one." So that was an interesting experience. Like I said, this happened about 20 years ago, and a little duplex on the north side of Kenosha. Every once in a while I'll drive past there, and I remember what happened, and I wonder if if anything's changed. I'm sure there have been new tenants, and I'm sure it's probably changed owners a couple of times by now. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that story. We're going to have some more coming up for you soon. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you again next time.